Do you know that everybody thinks that if we snapped our fingers and you all disappeared tomorrow, everybody thinks our quality of life would go up? Do you realize that? I'm just saying it, everyone's thinking it. When we think of what's wrong with Chicago, it's like utopia. Chicago's like a utopia. You know what the one problem is that's driving richer residents from the city? It's the crime. It's the chaos. It's the violence. And you know what demographic is almost exclusively responsible for it? It's you. It's black people.
Who's the biggest threat to America? Who are the most dangerous people in America? Black people. No, it's not. It's these blue-head leftist nut jobs are the most dangerous people in America.
Nick Fuentes went off on black people again, and the black conservative influencer Brandon Tatum did not like it. He tweeted, "What a racist weirdo." And even Brandon's own followers and commenters are pushing back against him, pushing back against Nick Fuentes. It's Sean Daniel here. Before we get into Nick's full explanation and then Brandon's or the Officer Tatum's full response, let me know down below who you agree with more just based off the intro. Now let's go.
White people are every single bit justified in being racist. Every single bit justified, to the extent that that means going out of your way to avoid black people when you see them. Every bit justified. And you want to know why? Because we see what happens. And nobody is under any obligation due to liberal ideology to put themselves in harm's way. If you're a white person and you're going to work or going to the ball game or going to the city at night, you don't want to enter into the terror dome where you're suddenly in a sudden death match. You're like in the gulag in Call of Duty fighting for your life all of a sudden because you got on the wrong train car. Because a car full of black people pulled up on you by the bus stop. You turn and you walk the other way. You avoid their neighborhoods. You avoid going out on Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend at night in certain places. When you see them, you start walking in the other direction. And we are every bit justified because we see what's going on and we don't want to die. It's that simple. That's pattern recognition. That's not racism. That's pattern recognition. That's one. And two, I really hope, because I'm rooting for black people, like I'm rooting for humanity. I'm rooting for everybody to be safe and to be healthy and to be happy. I really hope that somewhere out there, although I'm not optimistic, black people are starting to develop some sense of self-awareness. Where's the shame? Aren't you people ashamed? When I see these clips of the graduation ceremonies where they're twerking on stage and dancing, when I see these videos of the black cheerleaders on the basketball court brawling it out, when I see the Carmelo Anthony, and not only that, but then they raise $500,000 for him and then they get a public defender. When I see that video of a black security guard rifling through the pockets of an unconscious white guy that got his ass kicked, and the list goes on and on and on. You have to ask the black people that are normally so proud, and with the chip on their shoulder, aren't you ashamed? Are you not ashamed when you see these things? Are there any black people that see this and have the slightest lick of self-awareness, of common sense, of decency to say, are you not ashamed to see these scenes play out over and over again? Where's the accountability? And this is where that word fatigue comes in. We're just tired of seeing it. You see these clips and you know every race of person, maybe except for most blacks, white, Chinese, Indian, Hispanic, and even liberals see these clips and they say, are you surprised? They shake their heads. They say, yep. Usual suspects. They say, yep, that's about right. Are you not ashamed? And when are black people going to turn that around? I'm so sick of, and I think all of society is sick of, hearing about all these excuses. And even the conservative blacks will give them, like Jason Whitlock is a perfect example. When I gave a similar monologue about Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony, Jason Whitlock, who's a black conservative at the Blaze, said that this is a demonic sentiment. He said the problem is a lack of Christianity or something or other. The problem is a lack of accountability. And I think a lot of black people hide behind these various things, whether it's the liberals that say it's slavery and racism, or it's the conservatives, and they blame it on welfare, hip hop, or the Great Society. It starts with you. It starts with every individual black person making choices, like we all do. Who's raising these fucking people? Who's raising these people? It's other black people. It's baby mamas and baby daddies. I mean, who's perpetuating this? And who does it benefit to make these excuses and to say it's everybody else? So I see this stuff and look, yeah, we are going to call it out. We, the Americans, we the white people of America, we the peaceful, law-abiding, tax-paying people of America are saying, hey, blacks, get your shit together. Get your fucking shit together. We are fucking tired of you. We are tired of seeing this stuff. It always seems to be you. Do you know that, and I'm just expressing what is a common sentiment. Do you know that everybody thinks that if we snapped our fingers and you all disappeared tomorrow, everybody thinks our quality of life would go up? Do you realize that? I'm just saying it, everyone's thinking it. When we think of what's wrong with Chicago, it's like utopia. Chicago's like a utopia. Beautiful riverfront, beautiful lakefront, concerts in the park, ball games in the park, beautiful architecture, the best food. You know what the one problem is with Chicago that's driving the businesses out of the Magnificent Mile? You know what the one problem is that's making the public transit unusable? You know what the one problem is that's driving richer residents from the city? It's the crime. It's the chaos. It's the violence. And you know what demographic is almost exclusively responsible for it? It's you. It's black people. Everyone's thinking that. Everyone's fucking sick of it.
A lot of what Nick Fuentes just said is what a lot of us are thinking, but we can't say it. We feel like we're not allowed to say it. It's not politically correct. It might be deemed as racist. But a lot of us are thinking it, including the viewers and commenters on Brandon Tatum's video. This guy says pattern recognition isn't racism in response to Brandon, which we're going to watch in a second. I gotta be honest with you. He's saying everything most white people are scared to say. He's not saying every black person, Brandon. He's talking about the ones that act the way he's talking about. Nick Fuentes speaks 100% facts about black people. I know the truth hurts. Now here's the kicker one. I'm black and I agree with Nick. Why do you think successful black people don't live in black neighborhoods? When Tupac pointed out how blacks act, we agree. But when someone white says it, we can't see they're telling the same truth. So what did Brandon say in his response to Nick Fuentes that caused all these regular viewers and commenters to push back on him? A lot of the reason people were pushing back on Brandon after feeling like they were almost seen by what Nick Fuentes was saying and how he was relating to something they were feeling but they didn't feel like they could actually say. And the reason they then pushed back on Brandon, which we're going to see in a second, is because he got too statistical, too practical, too exactly scientific with breaking down exactly how often you're interacting with black people. Are they good? Are they not? Versus just relating to how people feel, which is interesting because that's kind of what liberals do. When you debate a liberal, they want to break down stats, information, studies, all these things to dissipate how you feel based on your real world experience. And that's how a lot of people felt with what Brandon was saying, which was interesting because a lot of times he's very, very real about black people, positively and negatively. But a lot of these comments that we're getting, they're not a broken down science of the exact amount of black people that do this and do that and the exposure we have to black people, how many percentage of black people in the U.S. It's how we feel. It's how a lot of people feel a lot of times. Now, it doesn't mean every time. It doesn't mean with all black people. But that is an overwhelming sentiment based on real-world experience and feeling, not scientific data. Now, what was that breakdown and data that Brandon wants to lay out? Let's hear.
I think that Nick Fuentes is 100% true, or telling 100% truth for certain black people. Like, if you've ever lived in America long enough to be around different groups of people, live in diverse cities, you realize this is not most black people. But it is sections of black communities and experiences that people are having with black people like this. I think black people do this more than anybody else do it per capita, but this is not every black person is like this. If you go into an IHOP, like we went to IHOP when we were in Orlando, Florida, the black people in there were ghetto, but they were nice, they were respectful, some of the best service that we've had. Not every black person that's in the hood is a bad person. I grew up in the hood. Most black people in the hood don't like the black people that are acting up. Most black people in the hood are not acting up. It's the ones that act up get the most attention. It's the ones that's going up the shoulder like this that people remember. But they don't remember all the other black people that are sitting in traffic with. They just remember the one flying up the bankment. They go to Mardi Gras or go to, not Mardi Gras, but the Cincinnati Brawl. It's probably 40,000 black people out there. But they remember the ones who are beating up this white lady. And that's not every black, that's these knuckleheads. And I think that Nick Fuentes is 100% correct when it comes to the ends. N-words act like this. N-words are rude. N-words give you bad service. Ns do this stuff. Black people don't act like this. And I think Nick Fuentes is an example, in my opinion, of a person who only have a certain amount of experiences with black people, not the totality of how black people operate. He's never been in a neighborhood where black people are normal. He's probably experienced black people hood, thug, N-words. And then now he's saying black people are like this. Most people interaction with black people are negative. I don't know if that's true if you live in Arizona, if you live in Las Vegas, if you live in California. Most of your negative interactions are not just black people. But if you're Nick Fuentes and you live in like Detroit somewhere, then maybe you'll think differently. If you live, like for instance, let's give an example. Most white people live around white people. Most black people live around black people. To be honest, most white people don't have that much of engagement with black people as much as they do with white people. Same thing with black people. When I was growing up in a black neighborhood, we never seen white people unless they're cops or crackheads. We were living our own life like this. And white people never really mess with black people like that. And a lot of the crossover are decent black people going to work and doing stuff like that, not the ends. And so I just put it in perspective. I think that Nick Fuentes have what we call black fatigue. Like his experiences with black people have been negative, so he think that majority of black people act like this.
Brandon makes good points though. It's very true if you break it down to the exact thinking of how many black people are white people exposed to, how most black people hang out with black people. Most white people hang out with white people. He's thinking through what to say, and it's impressive. I mean, he's been speaking for years publicly. He's got to watch what he says. He's got big access to big conferences, big brands. So he's got to think through what he's saying, not think as freely or speak as freely, in my opinion, as a Nick Fuentes might. But he's making a lot of sense. But Nick is not speaking based on an exact breakdown of how many people he's ran into that were black, how many people he's been ran into that are white, and the exact amount. He's speaking an overall experience. Like me and you. We go to a Walmart, we go to a Target. That's the people we see every day in our life. We see the people we go to with it. We see the people at church, we see the people at school, we see the people at our job. And a lot of these people that probably Nick is speaking about, and you guys in the comments, and even myself, what we're speaking about when we talk about black fatigue or seeing black people just acting ghetto and thug and dressing undecently and looking undecent because of the way they present themselves and the way they communicate, That's from experiences in Walmart, in Target, at the gas station, in everyday situations. Now, practically, can we say that's not every single black person? No. We don't have this hatred towards people. Nick doesn't have this hatred towards people, as far as we know. Brandon's making logical sense with what he's saying, but it seems to lack of understanding of people's just natural experience in their daily life with different people.
Because if you ask Nick Fuentes today, and if he listened to this, he'd probably try to have an argument for it if somebody asked him. But if you ask him today, who's the biggest threat to America? He'll say black people. I could almost imagine that he would say black people. Who are the most dangerous people in America? Black people. No, it's not. It's these blue-head leftist nut jobs are the most dangerous people in America. Antifa, dangerous people in America. White liberals, and through legislation, will destroy this country. They are the most dangerous people. They will get you locked up, shadow banned. They force you to wear a mask. They do all of this stuff that's detrimental to the existence of America. They have power. They have influence. Black people don't even touch a candle to these white liberals, to be honest. And you think about the world. Look at the African countries and you say whatever. But look at what white, leftist, weak people have done to the world. Europe is being taken over by Muslims. Why? Because of weak, I want to use the R word, white folks that are letting Muslims into their countries because they feel white guilt. In America, who's the ones that's going to make America fall off the cliff? It's white liberals. They destroy everything. And I would argue that the white liberal destroyed the black community, if you ask me. And then who is capitulating and supporting the foolishness that go on in the black community? It's these white liberals. They're the ones telling that black people shouldn't be incarcerated. What do you mean they should be incarcerated? They're the ones crying at defund the police, defund the police, defund the police. The white liberal is pushing that. The white liberal is running on that premise for the most part. And I'm not saying some of these black ones ain't bad, but the white liberal is the most dangerous to democracy and to the existence of the Constitution out of any group in the world. They are going, if we unabated, they are going to destroy America. And the powerhouse of America will cease to exist. And every single society will come crumbling down because of these nut job white liberals.
Before I break down what he said about black people in America, what he said about what's going on in Europe, that it's based on white guilt as to why the government is allowing all these Muslims into their country, that's a ridiculous argument. It's about control, bringing in people from third world countries that will depend on the government, will then continue to vote for the party that allowed them to come into the country. So then you have continued support, you stay in power. It's not about guilt. It's about power and money. Now, regarding the white liberal being the most dangerous person in America, Brandon's probably right when you think about the far end, extent, long-term implications of the powerful positions that white liberals have and the stances they take and ideologies they push. But is that what we run into every single day? Is that what we see when we go to Walmart? Is that what we see when we go to Target? Is that what we see when we go to the basketball court? And from personal experience, they do not want to let you play. They're talking crap. They look grungy, a lot of them. They're very ghetto, as Brandon said. Is that what we experience? That's what we experience, not the white liberal in some political position who creates some organization and ideology and votes in different bills. No. We experience it in school. We experience it at church. We experience it in shoppings when we go to the store. And I think he's kind of misconstruing that and trying to find some argument versus just identifying with how a lot of people feel. That would have gotten him a lot better response than breaking down exactly why black people are not so evil, because we don't think it through to that degree. We're just going off based off how we feel. Is there a lot of black people that a lot of us get along with and hang out with? Yes, of course. That's the only guys I would play basketball with, the only guys I would work out with in South Carolina when I lived there. Go play football. The black guys. And the funny thing is about black people, they will respect you if you just be yourself. If you be for instance me, my authentic white self weird, quirky, white guy, they accept you more. It's amazing. Versus when you try to act black and be cool around them, they're like some of the most loose, relaxed, and accepting people when you're just yourself. It's amazing. And a lot of them can handle the realities of some of the degrading things that a lot of black people do. They can handle racial jokes, a lot of the real black people. More than the white liberal, more than white people can. But one thing I saw that blew my mind after being in Europe for so long and then coming back to the US was just how many black people we have in America, whether I was in South Carolina, Washington, D.C., New York. And when I just went to the store, like a Walmart in South Carolina or the train station in Washington, D.C., most of the people that were dressed less decently, were appearing a little dirty, were kind of, didn't make me feel as at ease or comfortable or seeming like these people had the greatest etiquette. A lot of it was the black people. Now, is that based on some scientific study? No. But that was based off being in Europe where you don't really see a lot of blacks unless you go to the illegal immigration flooded countries. And then coming right back to the US, going to these train stations, going to a Walmart, and it just like hits you in the face. Like when you've gone a long time without sugar and all of a sudden you have an Oreo, it smacks you in the mouth, the flavor. That's what happened to me. And that's what a lot of people are speaking to in Brandon's comments. And that's what a lot of things Nick Fuentes is saying, that a lot of us are finally feeling heard when we hear it from him. It's Sean Daniel here. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I know this was a more risky video in a way, but I thought it was pertinent to talk about it because of what Nick said and especially what Brandon said. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing for more like this. And if you want to see a real example of black fatigue on CNN where we have a nagging and finger-wagging black liberal, check out this video right here. This New York MAGA lawyer does not hold back when she pulls out that finger wag. I think you guys will enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully that one.